July has come to an end, and that sadly means that the Criterion Collection 50% off sale is over, and now we wait for November. This is the real meaning of Christmas in July. So that means I'm here to do my Criterion Collection haul. I went to 2 Barnes & Nobles and I got a total of 14 DVDs. Just like I mentioned on my recent video about my Letterboxd video that hit a lot of views, my Criterion Collection haul was also one that went up in views a little faster, but it's insane how much it has now. I think it's like at 4,000 or something, but thank you to everyone who watched that. I think it found itself through the algorithm, etc., but thank you again. Let's begin with the haul. 7-7. First, we have Weekend by Jean-Luc Godard. I've been watching a lot of Godard recently. I just finished Masculine Feminine with Godard, and like I wrote in my reviews, for me, my motto with him is this film gonna stick the landing or not? And I also find myself prejudging him in the beginning. Oh, I'm not gonna like this, not gonna vibe with it. I did that with Masculine Feminine, and then I absolutely loved it. However, my top 2 Godard so far is Priet Le Fou. I need to learn French, and Vivi sa vie. A lot of people say that this is a wild one and low-key a horror movie. Maybe I'm wrong, but I remember reading comments about that. Then we have my blind pick, which is The Baker's Wife by Marcel Pagnol. The meaning behind this blind pick is I saw Bakers and baking re-entered my life. I was always interested in baking when I was little and cooking. I love doing it. But I started taking it seriously in high school and then I let it go. That's a story, but it found itself back last year after I made some choices and it's re-entered my life. It's kind of consuming me a bit. So, Bakers, baking, I love it. And on top of that, I find out it's 1938. The older the better. We love old movies. Oh, freaking Black and White too. Third, we have All That Breeds. This year, for the Oscar nominees, was a stacked cast for documentary feature. This was up against All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, House Made of Splinters, and Navalny. And this was the year I believe I watched all of them. Like, I hit a perfect score for all the nominees. I think this is just one of the many examples of what a documentary is about. Both extremely informative and completely entertaining. And I just love the subject matter. I learned so much. My heart was filled with so much joy and also sadness, but then more joy. Speaking of the Oscar nominees for Best Documentary Features, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. When Criterion announced that this was going to be in the collection, I was so excited. This was my top pick. This was a hilarious year for nominees as well because Fire of Love first was the front runner, and then All the Beauty and the Bloodshed was in everyone's predictions, but then people switched to Navalny and Navalny ended up winning. I had the honor to watch it at Lamel. Thank you, Lamel, for showing it on the big screen. AMC now is making it more available with the animated and the documentary short subjects, but documentary features, you rarely find those unless they're online. Rarely do they show them in theaters. And this one also has a little funny story because I took photography in college and I was a TA the year after. I remember learning about Nan Golden in my photography class. Her and Annie Leibovitz were 2 of the photographers that I learned about that completely inspired me and kind of reflected the body of work I decided to do in those classes. Same with another famous photographer, Francesca Woodman. It's not a Romina Criterion Collection yearly haul without a silent movie. I got The Passion of Joan of Arc. One of the greatest silent films of all time. One of my favorite silent films of all time. I feel like this is in my top 10 of silent films of all time. I wouldn't say top 5. I love Me, My Chaplain, and My Harold Lloyd and Hoxon. Those are definitely in my top 5. We continue with the silent. I got A Story of Floating Weeds and Floating Weeds by Yasujiro Ozu. I watched my first Ozu ever a couple weeks ago. I wrote a review on it in Letterboxd. If you want to check it out, I saw Tokyo Chorus. I'm vibing with this work. I haven't been that completely like in the first one, but I have so many other works of his to see, so I can't make my decision now with one freaking film, but I had to buy it because anything silent, even if I don't like the silent film, I'm going to buy it. Story of Floating Weeds was his final silent film, and then Floating Weeds, he remade it in color. So it's a double whammy. And lastly, to conclude this, because I got the last one, I remember going to the counter and being like, do you guys have this? She's like, oh, you got the last one. It was meant to be. Chantal Ackerman Masterpieces. I think the Criterion announced that this was going to be a thing in January this year. It was just a couple months after Sight and Sound announced that Jeanne Dielman was the #1 film of all time. I've seen Jeanne Dielman and I've seen J'ai tout et elle, but I have so many others to see of hers. absolutely love her work. I was very late to the Jean Dielman party, and I remember seeing a tweet a couple months back, or maybe even freaking 2022, of saying never ask a cinephile for a movie recommendation because they're just gonna recommend you a 4-hour French movie of a woman cleaning her apartment. Then I find out that it's Jean Dielman. I love slow cinema. I've repeated it many times. Let me tell you one thing though, because I bet some people will be like, oh, just because it's slow means it's good. No, there's some slow cinema out there that's not that good. It's just, I'm a defender of slow cinema because the criticism is so heavy on slow-paced films. I'm sorry you have the attention span of a squirrel. Second, we have 7 more, and we're going to begin with All That Money Can Buy. This is my blind pick. Technically, this is still a blind pick, even though I didn't blind pick it out in the store. I did a online order for this. The cover completely grabbed my attention. On top of that, it's 1941, black and white. Again, the older the better. Love it. Then I have Jellyfish Eyes by Takashi Murakami. I think I explained in my July 2023 Criterion video that when I make these lists, I also go by the Criterion Closet video picks. This is in Sean Baker's Criterion Collection Closet pick video. I believe there is two more that I put on my list from his video. And this is one. He's never seen it, and he said he ordered it and like it's on its way. That's why he didn't grab it. He says he heard that people say it's very wild. I read the description and it kind of sounds like Ponyo to me, but I may be completely wrong. Silent film supremacy, everybody. People on Sunday. When I was looking for this one, I literally typed in the Criterion Collection silent films. I think I got over 100 results, 100 to 200. I need more. If I had one wish, it would be to restore all the silent films, every single one. I'm excited for all of my Criterions, but this is the one I think I'm most excited for. Eating Raoul. The guy at the cashier even told me this is one of his favorite films and he wished he could see it again for the first time. I think Sean Baker mentioned this one. The cover is absolutely amazing. I read the description too. I think this will be the first one I will see out of this all this new collection. Then we have Kess, directed by Ken Loach. I think this was also a Criterion Collection Closet video pick. I don't know from who. I have a feeling this is from the Safeties or Sean Baker. Next we have I Married a Witch by Renee Claire. This is also Sean Baker's closet pick. As you can tell, I really love Sean Baker, one of my favorite directors. This is the first film he picks out in the closet pick video, and he says that it's his dad's favorite film, 1942, black and white. Love it. And lastly, guys, from the Safeties closet pick video, because that one is one of my favorites, Meantime, directed by Mike Lay. I love the cover of this DVD. Besides Eating Raoul, this will be the second one that I'm most excited for. The Safety said that the spoiler of the whole film is in the beginning and you don't even know it until you finish the film. Maybe I shouldn't have listened to that, but still, I'm excited for this one. And that's it, guys. That is my 14 DVDs for 2024 Criterion Collection haul. This is my 3rd Criterion video. My collection is stacking, like I think I've said that in my 2 videos. And I don't want to do a complete Criterion Collection haul until I fill up an entire bookshelf. But here's to November. Hope you guys love this video. If you loved it, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. If you liked more, thumbs up. Press subscribe and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all next video.